Hey guys, or hello everyone. My name's Henry. I graduated from Centennial High School in June 2017. Now in high school, I was an athlete. I mean, how else would I get so sexy? Judging from the slide, pretty sexy. If you ask me. Yeah, but in high school, I was an athlete, and not because I was super skilled or super coordinated, but because I worked hard. I wanted to be good. My senior year, I had a 3.8 GPA, and it was all stayed in 3 sports: football, wrestling, track. I had plans to do a shot put for the track team at Mount Hood Community College. Jeez, words. But on September 14th, 2017, my best friends Adam, Nick, and I, we were hit by a driver on Pilot Road, and the driver was going 22 miles over the speed limit. He was going 62 miles an hour, 62 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. Much later, we learned that there were drugs and alcohol in the system, but no tickets were given. I really don't know much other than what the police officers told me. But apparently, they did not think to test him for drugs and alcohol at the scene of the crash because he was on a stretcher being taken to the hospital. And from the crash, I sustained a traumatic head injury, a TBI. I shattered almost every bone in my left leg. I fractured my pelvis, and I tore off tendons in my neck. Words. And I was lost. One of my best friends, Nick Leon. Nick was the best dude. 95 days. That's how long Nick got to be a high school graduate. Pretty soon, right now, my friends and I, all our graduates are coming up on a 10-year anniversary or a 10-year reunion. But Nick, he'll only ever get 95 days. 95. Nick was the nicest person I ever met. Nick was just a pure person. So Nick was home on a break from football camp at Western University. When he came home and we went and saw a GV football game at the high school we just graduated from, we watched the game, and then one of our buddies was having a send-off party because everyone was getting ready to leave to college, and so we went to the game. We stopped by at the send-off party. We had some snacks, and then I took off. Yeah, I was taking everyone home, and I was actually angry at Nick for quite a while, because I have to deal with all this pain, and Nick doesn't. I have to deal with knowing all that I can do, all the things I was great at, but I can't do anymore because of my bodily limitations. But then I realized Nick doesn't get to do anything anymore. I thought about this for quite a while, but then I realized life's a gift. A gift that Nick does not get the chance to enjoy anymore because of the choices of a person to drive under the influence. I'll be in pain for the rest of my life, but I have the chance to experience something Nick never will, a life. So I push forward, trying to do the best I can, and try and live the most positive life possible for myself, for Nick, and for our community. Life got really dark after the crash. literally and figuratively, because I was in a coma for about 3.5 months. Now doesn't ever wonder or want to know what it's like to be in a coma? Anyone? It's pretty fun. Well, if you want to know, close your eyes. Now crap your pants. Isn't it great? Yeah. Everyone always asks me, like I think it's a magical, like it's a magical out-of-body experience. But I'm like, no, it's just pretty dark and pretty shitty. Knowing the pain I have was caused by another person and completely unnecessary is kind of hard to live with. So I found ways to make life fun. So I found ways to make life fun. I really believe that no person has to let their obstacles define them. Just so you don't have to let your obstacles define who you are. My car crash is a part of me. It's who I am. But do you really think I'm gonna let it define me? Most definitely not. So while I was in hospital initially, I had no filter. I would say anything to anyone. I even told my mom and all my aunts and anyone who would listen about Nick's warflag butt. And my mom says I was very descriptive because I was telling all my aunts and all my friends' moms how my friends and I how we used to go streaking occasionally, and they got very descriptive about Nick's butt. But you know, like that's what the weird things or the funny things are what stick out to you in your memory. So I like to think about so I like to think about the fun times. And those fun times often include Nick's butt, Nick's ass. And so I had at least 7 initial surgeries, and a $500,000 medical bill. And the total number of surgeries related to the crash is about 9 to 11, with another on the horizon. Definitely, probably come June. So on the night of the car crash, I came in the emergency room with a lost liver, broken femur, tibia fibula, a sheared pelvis, pneumothorax, a disrupted urethra. No, that's not fun for ladies or guys. It's pretty painful. A disrupted urethra. Jeez. Fun memories. And a transaxonal head injury. The doctors actually had to reconstruct my pelvis with rods, plates, and screws. I had a tracheostomy to help me breathe, a feeding tube because it couldn't swallow, and a catheter. And for everyone who said a catheter before, just know, I'm sorry. They're not fun. And so the doctors told my mom that they did not know what the outcome of my recovery would be, or if I would walk again. I quickly learned that life was a lot different. People treated me different because I walked and talked differently. So I learned to have fun with it. One time at Mount Hood, I was on the way to class, and this lady stops me and real frantic, like she's like, "Oh my God, you're limping. Do you need a limp? Do you know you're limping?" And so badly, I just want to say, "No way, really?" Because like it's my limp. Of course I know. People are hilarious. Sometimes when people ask me why I'm limping, I say, I was bit by a radioactive spider. But instead of Spidey powers, I got a pimp limp. But you know, pimping ain't easy. Or my favorite, sometimes I'll say, what limp? What limp? That was hilarious. Makes people think they're saying things. So I used to be so sad. Because I was this great athlete that was just starting to live a good life with all my friends. And because of some person's choice to drive under the influence, all that was taken from me. But I'm not going to let the actions of another person determine if I'm going to live a good life. Only I have the power to make that. Only I have the power to make that a reality. I don't want to let what happened to me define me. I want to be defined by how I choose to respond. Life is a gift with no guarantees. Some people might make choices that take lives away, but I want to be them. But I want to make the most of my life. If only one, I'm going to try and make it the most positive life I can for myself and for anyone I interact with. So I worked hard because I didn't like where I was. Learning to walk was painful, but I thought it makes stubbornness when I was fighting through the pain. Later, I learned why it was painful. Now isn't it cool? My tool belt. It's pretty awesome, pretty rad. So I embraced my tool belt, and became Iron Man's cousin, Titanium Man. Yeah. So I got motivated. I got angry with my progress. I really just want to be a normal person. Graduated college and became a detective to help people. But now I really just want to walk and stand without pain. So I didn't know. I went to school and got a degree, and that combined things I love. People and numbers. Everyone has obstacles. It matters less what the obstacles are, and more how we choose to respond. So how will you respond to your obstacles is the question I want to leave you guys with tonight. I have a bit more, but keep that in mind. How will I respond to my obstacles in my life? And so I know you're all gonna try and do your best and try to be the best people you can be. And just know when the road gets tough or dark, I believe in you. And if I can smile with my pimp limp and work hard to be the best I can be, so can you. And so I'm currently working for Legacy. I was working as a banker. But yeah, banking was definitely not the career I thought it would be. But working at Legacy, I feel like I can do a lot of good here, a lot of good for our community. Yeah, and they love to help people and build relationships. And again, life's a gift. I'm happy to be here and have an opportunity to create a better future for those who are important to me and society. I speak about my experience recovering from and dealing with the lifelong effects of my car crash that was caused by a DUI driver. And I don't just do it for me. I do it to hopefully save the lives of people like Nick and other innocent people. Good people who haven't had the chance to live their life to their full potential. What happened to me happened. It's a fact. Nothing will change that. But I control what I do, what happens now, as do we all. And I choose to wake up and try to attack every day with a positive attitude and positive mindset. Because life's a gift. Yeah, and I want to use my gift well. Our thoughts and our attitudes determine our reality. So slide 9 now. So since the car crash and for the rest of my life, I'll have to pay for the actions of a person who chose to drive under the influence. But I'm determined to still live a good and happy life. One hour help as many as many people as I can. I would go through everything. I would go through everything again if it meant that Nick could have just live. If there's one thing that comes from this, I want it to be that no person or their family and friends will have to go through what my family and friends and I went through. If you make the choice to drink or do drugs, I ask that you please try to find another way home. Take an Uber, call a sober friend, and if you see a friend or a loved one drinking and try to get them on the wheel, take their keys. Find them a safe way home. These alternative choices could save a life. I know I'm young, but what I've learned from my experiences is it really doesn't matter what happens in life. What happens, it doesn't matter so much. What matters most is how we choose to respond. We control our lives, and we control our attitudes and efforts toward improving. Life can try and break us, but look, we're also here. We're tough. Thank you all for listening to me speak about someone who makes me truly happy. Thank you.